Hey, thanks. Thanks, y'all, for coming in. Today's huddle, I just wanted to let y'all ask any questions you have.
Where do babies come from?
Where do babies come from? Well, there's this stork, right? That's how I always saw it on Looney Tunes, right? Those little stork comes flying in. I think he's drunk too, isn't he? Yes?
For the new email.
For the new email, when is it coming? Okay. The new email is hopefully, I have gathered about 92% of our brokers, so we got some people that aren't paying attention. Fortunately, if you're watching out there for some reason and you haven't been paying attention to your email, your password will be changed on you today. You will get a text message, so I will just be changing their passwords, and then we're going to text them their password. This is your password now, since you can't respond to me. Once I get all that information uploaded, we're looking at about 2.5 weeks. Okay, so hopefully there's going to be a switch that gets flipped, and your emails will stop coming from Rackspace and start coming from the new space. And at the point that that happens, all of you will have changes as well going on with how you access your emails. There's an app for it. So unlike just going to the web, or you can just do it web-based. So more information to come on that, so let me know. But you're all going to be very, very, very much excited about it. It's a huge change. It is similar. We tried to do the enhanced email, and that it's okay. It's a good thing. Guggen here likes it, but this is very similar. It's going to have all the features. Your contacts will be all places all the time. Your calendar will be all places all the time. And you can still use Outlook if you want to use Outlook. You can still use Mail. You can still use all the different apps that you use, or you can use the specified app. So more details on that to come soon. I'm pretty excited about it.
Does the premium Outlook go away?
Your stuff is already gone. So.
Money now. Nice.
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
You didn't get billed for it this month.
Yeah, that's why I was surprised actually. I was like,
perfect. You're like, hey,
I
I didn't get billed for that. So because of the change, we said we're not going to bill anybody who was paying for enhanced email. So.
Does that mean Moxie's pretty short to follow after the email change?
You're going to hear a whole bunch about that tomorrow. So, pretty excited about that. Brokerage questions, like legal questions,
Yeah, I got one.
scenarios,
So
issues.
Is there any rule if you have so say you have a listing, the person's also trying to rent it, so if they don't sell it, they're gonna rent it out?
Okay.
Is there any rule by having like the lockbox there for like the rental people?
So the question is if somebody is trying to sell their house, but they also want to rent it out at the same time, whichever one happens first they want to do, it is fine that you have the lockbox on there so that people can access the home for that. There's no rule that says you can't have the lockbox on there for access for rentals if you have it listed for sale.
Okay,
Still only realtors have access to that box, so that protects you all the way. You can see who entered the house when. All right. Any other questions? Go ahead, Guggen.
So if it expires, I think Christina told me the answer, but if the listing expires completely, they are willing to extend it after the expiration. So it expired on July 1st, but today he's willing to extend it. Does it just simply an email, or do I have to do the whole listing agreement again?
You can get an email from them. So the question is, if the listing expires, do I have to do a whole new listing agreement, or can I just do an email from them? Technically, you should have it in writing from the seller, right? So an email is in writing from the seller that they want to extend the listing. The listing's already expired in the MLS. That can be reactivated, so it'll just almost act as though it was never expired. And yes, for anything that it can be done unilaterally between us and our client here at Century 21 Connect, I will accept an email. It just needs to be in writing. So it doesn't need to be signed, dated, stamped, all that stuff, and delivered. So just make sure you have it in writing. Pass it along to the help team. They'll throw it in the file.
Do they have to include in there how long do they want to extend?
Yes. So you have a conversation with the client. Hey, I want to extend my listing. July 1st was your expiration. Let's extend it to July 15th. Okay, great. I'm going to send you an email. If you could just reply to that email, that'd be great. Hang up. Per our conversation, you want me to extend, please confirm you want me to extend our listing to July 15th. They reply back, that's your new expiration date.
So is there another MLS fee you pay for an expired listing, or is it the same fee?
Expired listing, there is nothing for an expired, only withdrawn. There's only a fee for a withdrawn listing. So when it expires, it just expires. You can always, in the MLS system, change the expiration date further out, but you can never pull it back in once you extend it out unless you provide the MLS system with the listing agreement. That's the only way they'll do it.
Oh, otherwise it's considered withdrawn?
Yep.
Oh, damn. Okay.
So you can't go, oh, my seller didn't want me to list this until August. They want to terminate their listing. Can I just pull the withdrawn or the expiration date in? No, you can't do that. So there's no way to cheat the system like that, Guggen. I knew what you were getting at there. All right, so any other questions on that? Price changes, kind of the same thing with listing agreements, just an email. It's a conversation you have with them. You don't need to do an entire amendment to the listing agreement. You can just say, yes, you want the property reduced from 500 to 475? Okay, great, I'm gonna send you an email. If you could just reply back confirming that you wanna drop the price to 475, that is sufficient for our brokerage. It's not sufficient for every brokerage out there, but text is not okay. That is not a form of written communication necessarily. Georgia Real Estate Commission doesn't accept it as a form of notice.
So every price drop needs an email like that?
You need an email, yes. So get your emails in
So
order.
it's past the- I mean, they're okay with it, but I just.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
Yeah.
There's not a problem until there's a problem, right? But when there's a problem, let's make sure we have our bases covered and we're getting emails. Kind of on that note, before we even list a property, I'll just start talking about stuff because I got about 5-10 minutes to burn here. Lead-based paint disclosures, all disclosures, seller's disclosures should be completed prior to you listing a property. And they should be uploaded to the MLS. If we have them and they're completed, the help team will tie them to the property once it's listed for you. Okay, if you didn't know, that can also be added to showing time. So as people are scheduling their showing, have you ever scheduled a showing, you get an email back with a confirmation, you get all the disclosures right there? That's tied in through showing time. We can do that for you. Should be done for you as long as we have the disclosures back.
You guys have the premium account for that, or is that?
Nope,
Okay.
it is included. So make sure you're getting your disclosures done. Lead-based paint should always be done by the seller first. If you're representing the buyer, don't send it in. Don't send a lead-based paint signed by the buyer over to the listing agent. It's not really a disclosure. You're saying up front that the buyer agrees to whatever the heck the seller says. All right? Other questions? Come on, y'all have something for me. Give me something to talk about, and don't just make Guggen do all the talking. You're not shy, Tracy. What's going on in your world, Miss Tracy? What issues do you have? If you're writing offers, if you're doing any business at all, if you're talking to people, you're having issues with something. So give me something.
When they shift to the market, usually they say 6 months for listing. Is there a timeline that we should not accept a listing under? Like say the guy or
No.
the lady says like.
If they say I want to list it for 10 days, you list it for 10 days.
Okay.
If they would say they want to list it for a year, you list it for a year.
Okay. Is there a sweet spot we should aim for? Like 3 months, 6 months?
I
I mean, if they don't bring it up, just make it 6 months.
Okay.
If they do bring it up, whatever they say, I mean.
that's sales stuff, and I don't do sales with y'all if y'all know that. But I'll give you this. There's different takes on that. Some people go, I don't want to list more than 60 days. Because if it doesn't sell and the seller's not willing to reduce the price after the conversation, I don't want to be stuck with a withdrawal fee if they get mad at me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can argue both sides of that. So there is no set anything in real estate, I don't think. As y'all know, everything in real estate is negotiable. So, anybody working with any new home buyers in this market? Oh, yeah? How are they feeling? How are showings going? Is it still absolutely insane? No?
Slow.
Slowing?
I'm getting way more calls from the listing agents
Yeah.
now, trying to talk us into it.
Oh, how the tides are turning so quickly, huh?
So quick.
Yeah, I mean, it was legit like 2 weeks, and everything changed.
Changed, yeah.
All right. Well, that's
The rates
good.
went down. It was crazy. 5.5. Yeah, no, I got closed, about to close. He got 1% off. He like saved 1% from the way we were about to close this Friday. Saved 1%.
Yeah, because that's the guy who switched
yeah.
lenders, right?
Yeah.
That you were talking about? Yes.
He
So,
Yeah, a whole percent off.
He got a
Yeah.
yeah, he saved about 350.
from when they went under contract, he was going through it and rates had dropped so much that he actually, did he go with another lender?
Yeah.
He did?
He
Yeah.
started with a whole new lender, got the appraisal waiver. I got a call today to see what day will close.
Yep, so. Changing lenders is not a reason to use an 8-day unilateral extension. Let me give you that one. That's a question Guggen had. I'll throw them out there. I'll put you out there like that. No, changing lenders is not, if you change lenders, then you get all the paperwork in a very timely manner and they need more time to close. That could be a reason to use the 8-day, but just because they changed lenders is not a reason to use the 8-day unilateral. All right, any other questions? Nothing? Come on, Leah, you got something for me? Nothing? Nothing? I don't know if we've met.
Lori.
Lori?
Yes, I'm
Lori
Randy. I
Keith?
just started today.
You just started today?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I have a plethora of questions.
Well, come on, if you're not going to be shy, they're all acting extra shy today. So, and I'm the shy one here. Miss Lori, you don't have anything?
Oh, gosh.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
We kind of talked about just a little bit about commercial leases.
Commercial leases.
Yeah. Well, this actually at the time was a commercial listing, but now it's turned into a commercial lease.
Okay.
So my question is, like a long-term typical lease is like 10 years, right?
Yes.
And I'm struggling with trying to figure out what numbers work best for her. I mean, it's basically a rundown house that needs work. So what she wants to do is rent it out and let the leaseor fix it up however they want. So
Okay.
they can utilize
So
it.
she's not giving any build-out allowances, anything like that. All right, so we're going to go over top of a whole bunch of people's heads here, and so that's why I'm just going to stop and I'm going to say, I'm not a commercial broker. I understood everything that you just asked me, but I can't give you advice on what to do. So,
So who do I
so
talk to? Who do I run to?
let's chat one-on-one afterwards.
Okay.
Yes. So you get commercial business, and I'll give you probably it's the example I give everyone. This space here that we rent, y'all know the AC units, right? AC unit goes out. Who's responsible for it?
Yeah.
Depends on what the lease says. And each unit is separately negotiable.
The toilet that won't stop running in the bathroom
Who's-
is not your responsibility.
We don't have a water bill here. So it's divided up amongst the entire building. The landlord's responsible for the water stains in the ceiling that have shown up after this latest storm. So yeah, there's a roof leak somewhere. So go ahead, Miss J.
While we're on leases, if we have a lease or a lease listing that's, listed in MLS, when it's closed out, does the year of the rent amount for the terms of the lease get recorded toward our sales?
For ARA purposes, like for top producers,
And Century 21 purposes?
Um,
Or-
for Century 21 purposes, Century 21 judges, everything is AGCI. So how much money did you make off of it? Yes to Century 21. Adjusted gross commission income. And what that is the total commission, 2%, 2.5%, 3%, whatever, minus any referral fees that are paid out to other brokerages, whatever. So that number before you split with the company. So you get credit for the entire gross commission income. And they say adjusted because there are referrals out there in a lot of cases. So for that purposes, yes. For Atlanta Realtors Association and the other associations, I believe you get, I don't remember exactly how it's a quarter of something or other. Like I don't know, or 4 times the rent is what you get for the production credit towards your multi-million-dollar club. Yeah, so they have their own little calculation in there.
And while we're talking about that, back to Century 21, how do we, in the transaction numbers, how do they end up being a a fraction of one.
How do they end up being a fraction of one? They shouldn't be. Let's talk about it. Give me the specific outside of this. So unless you and Guggen were both half of the transaction, that's the only reason it'd be less than 100% or one. So 0.5
I've just
or
seen if you look in the.
if they're on, yeah.
If you look in the reports, they're like 0.25s and 0.5s
Um,
and 17.5 houses
They're splitting the deals.
in our.
However,
so
in our office.
I've seen.
Okay,
I'll
you'd
give
have
an
to,
example of
yeah,
it.
you'd have to show me. I know there are plenty of times where, for instance, somebody will give somebody else a buyer referral on the south side of town, and both sides will get 50% credit or 25, whatever the referral fee is. So if the referral fee is 25%, we have to record it like that because they're not teams.
So if you got a referral on a house and you pay the referral fee of 25, whatever that fee is, do you get the credit for your end of the year sales
In-house or outside referral?
or in-house referral?
In-house referral, you'll get a percentage. Out of the building, you'll get the full. So if you pay a referral fee to a broker in California because you referred something out there, you will get the full credit for that. You'll get one transaction, and you'll get the full AGC, right? If you split it, if you referred something to Manuela and you paid and Manuela paid you a 25% referral fee, she's going to get 0.75, you're going to get 0.25, and you'll both get whatever your GCI is. Whatever your 25, if it's $10,000 commission, you'd get 2,500, she'd get 7,500.
So say it's a 500K house, the yearly total, will I get 400, she get, or,
That's volume, that's not GCI.
so volume wise, how does it work?
Volume wise, with Century 21 doesn't track volume. C21 Connect does, like our individual office does for our awards, but
Oh, yeah, you're right, I didn't see that, it's only transaction numbers and gross commission.
in GCI, yep. Cool. Any other questions? Ms. Lori, how much production did you bring with you?
I'm hoping.
What'd you do?
A lot.
Are you new? Are you
I'm
are you
brand
new to the business?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
There you go.
So,
well, welcome to real estate.
thank you.
All right, let's wrap it up.